Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Evernote series. My name is Pullein and today I am going to detail all the changes that have been happening with Evernote over the last few weeks. And boy, do we have a lot of changes. Now, I've seen a lot of negativity online about the changes that Evernote have been doing. Yes, I admit they've had a lot of catching up to do, and I don't really feel there's much validity in those arguments to say that Evernote are catching up with its competitors, because Evernote and all the competitors in this notes field have their own special features. It would be horrible if all these notes apps had exactly the same features. Evernote are doing their thing. Personally, I think they're doing a great job now. Yes, I'm going to put my hands up and say October last year I had a wobble. After using Evernote for pretty much 12 years now, I did consider for a few weeks last year shifting over to another notes app. But the reality was, when it came down to it, when I looked at all the competition and I was looking at Rome Research, Obsidian, I was looking at Nimbus Notes, Microsoft OneNote. I looked at tons of notes, and yes, I did include Notion in there. But in the end, when I looked at all these applications over a period of about 6 to 8 weeks, I realized that yes, a lot of these applications have their strengths, but equally they also have their weaknesses. And when it came to it, the trade-off between what I was getting with Evernote, the familiarity, the web clipper, which is outstanding, and the fact that I had thousands of notes in Evernote, I realized that the pain of moving to another notes app, having to learn all these different keyboard shortcuts, making sure that my notes were tagged and labeled and whatever correctly, it just wasn't worth it. So I decided to stay with Evernote. And if I'm putting my hands up now, last October when I had my wobble, I was wrong. Evernote is still solid. It's still strong. I love using it. I use it every single day. It's never let me down. And that, to me, is the key part of any notes app. It must never let you down. And Evernote doesn't let me down. Now, I've seen criticisms this week over things like Evernote is becoming bloated. Oh, right. How many other notes apps are bloated? There's an argument going around saying Evernote now is too many features, and then they're saying not enough features, and then people are saying it doesn't have this and it doesn't have this. Whoa, calm down. We all have a choice. We can choose Evernote, or if you don't like Evernote and you don't like the direction they're going, then go find another application. It's really quite simple. Evernote's working for me. One key part I need to go into here is, yes, Evernote have brought out homepage. They've brought out tasks. They've brought out now a calendar integration. If you don't like those features, if you don't like for example, I use Todoist every single day. I don't need Evernote tasks. Guess what? I'm not using them. Simple. You don't have to use the features. There's a lot of features in Todoist that I don't use because I don't need them. So yeah, there's going to be applications out there with lots of features that you probably will never use. You don't need to use them. I'm using Evernote. It's solid. I love the note structure. I love the search. I use tags, and I've never looked back. I am so glad I stuck with Evernote. So I really wanted to get that off my chest first. Now let me take you into my Evernote account, my demo account, and I'm going to show you all these new features and what they mean to the whole picture of Evernote going forward. So before we move any further, I would just like to say, if you do get any value from this video, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks and news on using Evernote, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, I will take you into my demo account now and show you all these new features. Okay, so let's get started with the new payment plans. Now, the new payment plans are not really that different from the old payment plans. The biggest difference is this over here, which you're looking at Korean money. This is Korean won. So 6,000 Korean won a month and 7,500 a month. So the difference here is about $1.25. Depends on the exchange rate, but it's about $1.25 difference between. So it's about $6,000 a month for the person. Sorry, $6,000. Sorry, $6 a month for the personal, and about $7.25. So it's difficult to do the exchange rate, but it's roughly that kind of area. So we're talking about $6 or $7 for the personal, and about $7.50, something around that area for the professional. So there's not a big difference in price between the two. Now, this is very much what the pro version was before they added this section here. What's the main difference? Well, what I noticed is the main difference is you're doubling up in terms of space. So here we get 10 gigabytes of space each month. So we got 10 gigabytes there, and here we're getting around about 20 gigabytes of monthly uploads. And just to give you an indication, if you're new to Evernote, I've been using Evernote for 12 years now. I've never, ever got close to 10 gigabytes of monthly uploads, and I'm using Evernote every day. 200 megabytes max for a note size. Again, I've never got close to that. But here you actually you get probably a little bit more there. No, you don't. It's about the same. But then you can customize the home dashboard, which we're going to get to in a moment. But you can actually have multiple pin notes. You can connect a calendar, one calendar with the personal, which is actually a new feature. Or you can connect with the Pro, you can connect multiple calendars, which would just get confusing. Anyway, you can add due dates and reminders to tasks, which is actually not a new feature. In the legacy version of Evernote, we always had reminders. It was there before. Now it's just a little bit more feature rich. And basically, that's it. You've got pretty much exactly what we had before. The one that seems to be causing a lot of consternation on social media is this one here, the Boolean search terms. Now, that is because the legacy version of Evernote, the old version of Evernote, had this search terms. Now, I'm a pretty heavy user of Evernote. I've used it for 12 years, like I said. I have never ever use Boolean terms. Now, I believe that 99% of the people out there will never use Boolean terms. They probably don't even, and I don't really understand it either, don't understand it. So I don't think this is a big deal because you can search for keywords, tags, notebooks, titles, dates, anyway within Evernote search right across the board with free and personal. Boolean is a very much a specialized search term, and if you're that specialized and you've got that many notes that you want to drill down into such finite details, then perhaps you need to spend $1.25 extra a month. But to me, that's not a big loss, but that's it. And then we got Evernote Teams. Now, this is my personal opinion. I know people are going to disagree with me on that one, but there we go. Right, so let's go into Evernote now and see what's happening. So what we've got here, right up here on the top, is Home. Whenever you open up Evernote, it's going to open up right here in your Home. Now, this is where pretty much everything is. Now, this is a new feature, and what I want to do is just quickly show you. So here we've got a calendar linked, and I've got my tasks here. Now, the calendar feature is something that I'm currently looking at. It might be something that I do incorporate, simply because when you actually connect a note to an event like I've done here, if I click on that now, I can go straight into my meeting note. It gives me the date and it gives me the title. It gives me the connection here, which I presumably if I click on that, it will take me to my Google Calendar. And then it's got my action item. So when I'm preparing for the meeting, I can actually get my notes set up before the meeting. I quite like that idea. Not used it yet, and I might test it out in a future next week sometime when I have a few meetings. So that one is quite good. And what you do, by the way, is if you want to set that up, you just click on this here, So create new note for event. So let's go to say I've got a coaching call right here at 9:30 tonight. Oh, I've already done that. So let's do it for my exercise. So maybe I want to just create a new note for my exercise, and it just makes a note for you. It creates the note. Where is that? Well, it's in my inbox. So you can see that for the 3 events on my demo calendar, I now have all my notes. On here, I set up 3 tasks, and you can see that they are there. If I actually click off a task, so let's say I'm recording, because I'm recording those now, click that one off. I'm going to click this one off, and I'm going to click this one off. You'll see that I've done my task. It actually shows that I've done my task. So that's actually a pretty good way if you want to use tasks. Now, I'm just going to say I am not using tasks. And this is something I really want to stress, because I've seen a lot of comments on social media about saying Evernote is becoming bloated. You know, you don't have to use these tasks. As I said in the introduction, the new features are there for those people who want to use them. You don't have to use them. I've used Todoist for many, many, many years as my task manager. Todoist has a feature called labels. I used to use them, but I don't use them anymore. It's a feature I don't need, but it doesn't make Todoist any less effective for the way I use it. And it's just like here. I don't use tasks in Evernote, and it's not making it any worse or any better. It's nice to know it's there, actually. And I do quite like the way that tasks work here. You know, I have it comes out here. So in the morning, if I was using tasks, I could come in here and say, right, things to do right there on my list. Exercise, I've got it set up. Coaching, I've got it set up. I can actually create things from here that have come from my notes. So I can see there's some benefit to that. So this is the home, and this is the new features. And essentially, that's all I really wanted to focus on in this episode, was just to go through the changes. If you don't want to use tasks, that's great. You don't have to use them. Just a quick few on here. If you want to add new widgets on here, you can just click on here, and you can add these widgets here if you wish. As I say, I don't really need them. I've got my scratch pad already there, and I can change my background. There's a lot of things you can do in here, but this is actually more useful than I thought. I have used this quite a few times just to start scratching down ideas when I'm actually in Evernote. But you know, there you go. So that's it. That's all I wanted to give. Evernote is moving along nicely. It's becoming more and more stable. In fact, I've never lost a note in Evernote. I'm not saying that you guys haven't, but I really haven't lost any notes in my Evernote account. And I just find this is working very, very well for me. So there you go. That's what I wanted to do, just to cover some of these changes. Let's just go back to the plans. You've got a choice here between 3 plans. The difference between personal and professional is basically you're just doubling up on your space. I don't really need to do that. And as I was thinking about upgrading to professional, but the way I use Evernote, I probably don't need to. So that's going to stay as it is. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this video. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, I would just like to say, if you are ready to decide what you want out of your life the next 10, 20, 30 years, and you want to be able to take that and build it into your daily life, then I have a course that's going to help you do exactly that. The Time and Life Mastery 2021 edition will take you through the process of deciding what you want for your life, and then it will show you how to build that into your daily life using the time sector system. So I hope you join this course. It's an amazing course, and I know you will not be disappointed, and I would really like to see you there. I'm here to help you to develop the best life you possibly can through becoming better organized and more productive, and that is what this course will show you what to do. Please join me in that course. Full details are in the details below.